Number one, there are people who should suffer for others to gain. Hello, beautiful people, wherever you are, welcome back. Beautiful folks, wherever you are tuned, welcome back to this kind of the session, because we have the breaking news that's going to be coming to you live. Whenever you see Ginto onto this kind of a small portfolio, onto this kind of the position, things going to be coming to you live, and it's one-on-one, redeeming from this kind of the side. Wherever you are, Happy New Year. Still, we are not even up to the 25, because we have to say Happy New Year until this kind of the month is January, because it's over hungry January, because we have to venture into serious business. So guys, wherever you are, breaking news that we're going to be having right now onto this kind of the section right now is about where is the three amigos reallocated to. Still up to date, some of the people are still wondering, where are we going to get the three amigos again? Where is the three amigos right now? Because everyone now is doing his own work. This is an update that's going to be coming right now, because much of the people have been asking, Ginto, where is the three amigos? Number one. Number two, how are you related with the DDD, which is Mr. Stefan? And also, people are asking, are you going to be continuing with much of the roasting? So today, I'm going to be giving you much of the report about the three classes on how we're going to be buffering with them and differing with them. If I'll be just making sure that I'm absconding your own affinity, please excuse me a little bit, and I'm very sorry before I restart this kind of the platform right now here. So guys, this is the only reporting that's going to be coming to you live, which is it's underscore Ginto's channel, the real G radio, that is G Vibes. Here we come, it's one-on-one. Everyone who is just being tuned, keep it locked, keep it tuned, because much of the thing will be coming to you live, and it's one-on-one. And this is the beginning. So guys, as how the things are always going right now, what I can just say about the three amigos, it has been so long, guys, because you know the three amigos, if I can give you the history on how we started the three amigos up to today, what has buffered it, what has caused some chaotic bufferments, what has caused it to have a pogrom, what has caused for us to have a no-go zone between the three amigos. This is the failure, because we have to learn from our failure. And I've heard some of the people from the town talking about, oh, we are the first people who started the three amigos, we are the people who ever were here. Guys, let me say this as a fact. When we were still at the swamp, we were still roasted outside there, because we were part of making the content to other people. Because if I can just analyze, there's a day I filmed a video and I filmed Kenge's eyes, and they were not having some of the sunglasses. So it became so chaotic. If I can just remember, M. Carol was the one who was talking about, oh, we are just sorry for this boy. I don't know, it was so much, if you can just remember that time. But to me, I never recognized that I filmed something bad. But how people are watching this kind of the videos, as they just came across to talk about Kenge's eyes were exposed without knowing. But it was not my fault, because I could have removed it, because I said my videos are raw and uncut. He's the one who came and showed me, and people outside there now were reacting upon such kind of the use of those kind of the videos. And no one could just sympathize. They were coming and getting me, talk about, oh, the reactors, they were just there, talking about, oh, this kind of the boy, this kind of the boy, this kind of the boy. And even the subscribers, whenever I started the reaction team, they came and told to me that, Ginto, do you know that we ever checked you from M. Caro? And we were talking about, Ginto, from M. Caro, from On Trending, from Black Beauty, from all the people were just reacting. And even Nairobi teacher, they were talking about, Ginto, do you know that we ever knew that you will not survive in that village? You will not survive in that swamp, because you are exposing much. And the real fact, up to date, guys, I am like the same way I was. I have to make sure that other simple perambulations, simple synergies that are coming out from this kind of the generation, we have to expose them. And what now came out, whenever we came out from the swamp, we came and struggled. Guys, we know how we struggled, looking for our own pathways, looking for the views, looking for the subscribers to come. And again, after we were chased, and it was like this, we were chased before the life could come. So when we came outside there, no one could just be with you, because you were chased with the con mom, no one could just buffer with you. It was so hectic, it was so helter-skelter. So we were just standing outside here and there to struggle. And I was even going to Royal Kim, I was going to every kind of the sections to make sure that I can film a video that could be coming, even if it's one, it could be so fantastic for the people to watch. But what then came? After a while now, this kind of a gentleman, the master came and now roasted us now for fully and told people go and unsubscribe and make sure that whoever is following this kind of the boys, you are also, your days are numbered. So is that time, it's when now I just put much of the brain and talked about, oh, this is how it is. So if you can help this, then it can come to turn to you. So I knew that this is how the life is. I knew this is how this kind of the era is existing. Now we were introduced to the live or the real life situations. Now we were now introduced to an era that you have to fight on your own battles, not fight using other people's names. Like we were ever talking about, hey, it's Kenge. Even we were about even to put a name for all the people who were just following Kenge. It was Kengerere. It was like that. So for us to come out from such kind of the era, we had to suffer before we could just come out with the clarity, because we started the three amigos. One day, I can just recall it. Let me tell you a small story. Here is the story. One day I had developed myself and talk about, okay, I have to film. There's a time I filmed one of the video that's talking about how the demon, talk about the Muangu, at least she came and attacked me at the villa. Hey. She came and attacked me and turned 360 and showed me the boom boom, this and this and this. Then the nyash here and there. She scattered, she doing everything like that one. So I talked about, okay, this kind of the things, don't be getting to my own attention. So whenever I put such kind of a story out, people liked it. People talked about again to, oh, now it's banana. I like that kind of an area you are. I like how you are doing this. Oh, you're so hilarious. And we came out to make sure that I want to be roasting this kind of the people. I started it that way. So it was an development which is coming at one time, not at each time. So the fact is, now Mugesi saw me. During that time, Mugesi's channel had been hacked. It was 000 video. Now I decided that how can I go and help this kind of a boy, because we were suffering together. He has been attacked. He has been jailed with the sausage girl. How are we going to evacuate him not to have such kind of a scenario again? I decided to do one thing, to accommodate him one day in one video, because I can just remember I was having a garden which I was preparing to have the vulnerable garden, which was the green vegetable garden that want to be coming at my fish ponds. Then I said about, okay, I'm taking manure to that position using the pickup I always have at home here. Then I asked Mugesi, hey Mugesi, where are you? Can you come so as I can just film a video? Mugesi talked about, okay, I was even about to call you. Then I talked about, now it's your time. Now Mugesi came without hesitation, like 2 minutes from his home to my fish pond. It was like 1.5 minutes whenever you are running, 2 minutes whenever you are walking harmlessly. Whenever you're walking helter-skelter, it could be just 3 minutes. So that's how he came. And I talked about, we are now going to place this kind of a camera at the dikes of the fish pond. Then we talked about, what are we going to talk about? We started talking about how this kind of the Kenge family is behaving. Why are they roasting us? Why are they doing their own things, but coming to our own, they're just talking bad about us, but they don't know that they have their own bads that we can just expose. Then we talked about it, and people liked how we came together. And we talked about, okay, we can continue the same behavior, making sure that we can just be roasting these people as we're going to be telling people the actual thing, because everything that's coming to the people, it's already scripted. But what if we can just come out clearly to tell people that this is the real life situation that's coming out from Nyabuase? People liked our vibe. And people talked about, hey, Gintu, now you can be, if you are two, make sure that we are doing 2 different videos. And we talked about, okay, can we do a short video here, a short video here? As me, I talked about, because Mugesi was growing, I decided to leave him even to post some 4 hours even before I could just post. And it was my gratitude to offer such kind of a special offer. And we really talked about, we are from far, let's support each other. And whenever I could post, I could bypass him and talk about, if I post first, it was like the way Kenge used to do with us. He was ever talking about, don't post before I post. What if now he posts and you post? You are nothing also. So that's why I decided that I have to give Mugesi a chance to post before I could post. It was the same even to date. Mugesi is the one who is posting first, then I post. So if people watch from Mugesi, I want to be adding the starting value and also the last value. So as people, whenever they're watching, they'll just know that, oh, this kind of the video is this way and we're going to be ending this way. So, and the middle stage, we're going to be cutting, so as I can put the essential parts inside as other things going to be continuing. I talked about this is now the framework to go. Then we started now roasting this kind of the people who are molesting some of the children. We talked about one day I recruited one boy called Mayani. I can remember that day we were in Nyabohanse and Mayani never had even, I can remember even me, I never had this kind of a stand. I can remember, guys, and I'm saying I never had this kind of a stand. We were using sticks. A stick, then you put a camera, because a camera has a holder. You can know how that holder is, talk about the handle. Then you round it with a rope, so as they can attach with that stick, round it very firmly. Then that stick, it's narrowed down, so as it's just a little bit formulated in a way that whenever you want to insert it, you can insert it where it's soft and it can go down. Or you can just go and round the camera on a tree, so as on a tree trunk, that's round it there and film you, make sure that it's positioning. Once upon a time, I can just remember I was rounding at the bananas and I came out. Even the day I started my roasting, my camera, I was even putting it on top of a banana. Talk about a banana fruit, and I was placing it where it can be firmly and tight on a banana. Make sure that it can just focus on me and make sure that I'm bringing the content out. So during that time, we used to have such kind of a habit as we were making sure that everybody can just get our own content. As we started it, I recruited one boy called Mayani. Mayani was a little bit funny, never understood our, we can talk about how the trend was. Never understood it very well, because the day I brought Mayani in, it was a day that we were roasting and we were talking about the ladies who have been already molested, because we had talked about the party, the impact of the party. I had spoken with much of the people, talk about T-Travel, talk about this guy called the Strongman. I had talked with so many people, even Royal Kim, I put him into the platform. We talked with many people. And whenever I came to host again the 3 Amigos, because I was the one who formulated it to make sure that we are standing and becoming strong. Now it's becoming that now of the lately, I'm just receiving much of the intimidation from much of the YouTubers who are very small boys from Nyabuhase and talking about, oh, do you know that even before you could come to the street, we were the ones holding the 3 Amigos? Was Masubu a 3 Amigo? Was Maxwana 3 Amigo? I'm just not understanding how people are just coming here to tell us, oh, you have come to take our job. Who is taking whose job outside here? So this is where the intimidations are coming, because now it's baffling that because we came with a different idea, different culture, different approach, different etiquette on handling such kind of the matters. Now it has become that, oh, now they want to tarnish Gintu, tarnish this, so as they can just be seen as we took advantage of them. Who is taking advantage? Because we have ever hosted everybody. I've ever hosted Masubo. I've ever hosted the YouTubers from this round. Even I've hosted, the only person I've not hosted, maybe talk about the Nigerians and talk about on trending. But one day I'm going to be meeting with on trending. Wherever he is, make sure that we are prepared. On trending, I'm going to be coming to host you very, very, very soon, so as I can just get much of the things. And maybe, probably, I'm going to be hosting even Black Beauty. You can never know. I'm going to be hosting this kind of a lady who is now hitting me like a Cherokee drum called Mora. I don't know how the things going to be going, but I'm going to be coming for them. The only impact, I say, if you are a reactor, is a reactor. Whether you are reacting upon Gintu or you are reacting upon who, you are a reactor. A reactor is a reactor. There's no positive or negative. I ever talked about this kind of the things. So the fact now came out. We started pinpointing who is the molester and who is molested. And the people like such kind of the thing, and talked about these people, this kind of the lady should look for a thing to do. And this kind of the people should do this and this and this and this, so as we can just move together. What now has caused the causative agent? When we talked about the other lady called Obasa again, and we brought her to the system, and I was the one who filmed, and I asked for the permission from the mother, from the brothers, so as I can film a video showing that what is she doing from the start to the end. Then I filmed a video. People started talking about, yeah, how can we help? I was the one who introduced even the channel to be known right now. I was the one who made it. And I did it because I had that kind of the humor, so we can help her and make sure that other things are forgotten. But we roasted her as she talked about everything. She never talked about everything. Once upon a time, things will be coming out, and people talking about, yes, Gintu. Even that time, I could just say that, why couldn't people talk about Gintu? Why are you doing this to this kind of a lady? Because I introduced her, but other people tangled. And the people I'm talking about who tangled to make sure that they are now overtaking the responsibility, bringing another German called Ronald King of what? Talk about the other YouTubers from Nyaboanse. They started engaging themselves from whatever I started. And to the real vibe I'm ever talking about the people. I am the one who then they start tarnishing my name. It's the fact. Because they have to come out to now talk about, oh, now we are hosting this. We are now being told who is the baby daddy, who is this and this and this. It was so nasty because I never had such kind of intention to do it. Now they have to change my own attitude from now trusting everyone to make sure that everything is coming one-on-one. So whoever is just, I'm very sorry, and compromising her or his own affinity, I'm very sorry about that. Because I ever knew that this kind of the things going to be going very straightforward as we're going to be handling the matters in a way that we have to be so careful about it. We have to know that this is how we're going to be shifting our own duties. Now it became that we are now attacking Ernesto's family, and Ernesto was part of our own team. And whenever we hosted Ernesto was talking about, no, you know, it's my mom, it's my dad, it's my brother, it's no. So it was chaotic, and he decided that today, let me now move forward. Do you know why we moved from Ernesto's sister? It was one thing. They started talking about Gintu is now using their own money, which is sent for them to be given, and I want to make the construction. So that was the charistic, we can talk about. It was so perambulating to my own affinity that I'm hustling and making sure that I'm bringing materials one trip after each, making sure that at a certain time, I started it in October, November, December. Now it's in January. If I could be having the same money that, oh, Gintu go, even a person could have come out talk about, oh, Gintu, I send you money to this kind of a lady. Have you reached it? Give this the receipt. I sent you money for this, and I wrote you this and this and this. So why are you not doing it? So people started doing it, and it's because they saw that I have introduced her to the system, and yet they think about I will be there and the money will be flowing. Guys, this is the problem with our ladies and the people who want to help also. They think about whenever Gintu film with your video that you want to help, then a person comes out with a good heart talking about, oh, this kind of the person, we can just help, we can do this and this and this. They now start talking about the money will be flowing today, tomorrow but one, tomorrow but two, and this and this and this until the future. So that is the misconception that is always being carried with this kind of the people, and I have to tell them, because even the subscribers, you are here listening to it, and much of the reactors are going to be listening to this kind of the affidavit coming out. If a person is talking about you have a problem, I feature you onto my own YouTube channel, and people start talking about, oh, we can help. There are people we talked about, you're going to be taking responsibility to take some girls to the school, and we're going to be making sure that in the big schools I ever went, because no one was paying me to go and look for these schools. No one was paying me for the transport, but I could do it. I could go to this school, talk to the teachers. It's not an easy job, because if you can just know about it. Have you ever seen the parents who want to go even to school? They are just doubting, how am I going to start? How am I going to get this? Because this kind of a person is already a parent at home. How am I going to discuss it? How am I going to talk to? They will see me that I'm a failure also. So if you can use a person like me, it was so good, because I could talk about, I have a sponsorship for her. I want to take her back to school. So as we can just spare the parents not to have such kind of the scenario, talk about such kind of the impact of a parent talking about, oh, now how are they other children going to take me? How are this kind of the teacher going to take me, that I'm maybe careless? I never took my own responsibility to stop this kind of the molestation, defilements, and something like that one, so as my daughter can study. Why couldn't I be active to this kind of the person? So I was there acting in such kind of a scenario, so as they can just, I took it like my sister, so that whenever I go to represent, they could ask me, What's the problem with this kind of a person? You want to transfer her from this school to another school. I talk about due to unconditional circumstances, it by fold in a way that this kind of a lady, maybe this and this and this happened, but she's pleading to go back to school, so we want to take her off, and I take the responsibility of such kind of a person to my own heart, to my own aptitude, to my own affidavit. But whenever it comes to another time that a person talk about, oh, you are being sent money to go and look for these schools, you are sent money to do this. So it was something which annoying, but they never knew. So this is why we ever talk about even this kind of a boy called Ernesto was part of the program, could not talk about, oh, this kind of a person, we are ever together, how is this and this and this, how is it happening? He was maybe supporting and talking about, yeah, you just continue. He could not even make sure that is just putting off this kind of the fire that could be developing. You can just remember even the brother came out to talk about we have ever been luring him to talk about this, talk about Kenge came out, talk about, oh, Gintu is just paying this kind of the ladies so they can just give out the false information. So it was nactic. So as this kind, we were suffering for these people. And whenever I talked about now there's no trustment of any. I don't trust any person. I don't have this kind of the friendship that, oh, I have a friendship with this kind of other person. But at the end, it will come to occur that you are the bad person. You are using. So the same things, they are occurring. The same things. We are human beings. We understand. We know this kind of things are going to be happening. And we have to say it validly. Because if we don't say it vividly, one-on-one, so as people can get it, we are going to mess ourselves. But the fact now, the three amigos, how did it go? Whenever we roasted and made sure that everybody is tangled to get this kind of assessments and everybody could understand this is what we want to do and this is not what we do. And we had put everything in an open air so as people can get what is really the impact of the Swamp Kings party that molested much of the ladies, molested much of the people, and it was making sure that even people are not told. Now the recent things that came out as the nude photos, no one could know, because we are moving statement by statement. We are moving from one position, we are cloning, we are developing. So as whenever it reaches at a time, we will come with another thing that happened that Kenge never told people. Now we have reached to nudes. Now it has become that now to this kind of a session, now Gintu is messing. So that is where now people become mad. And become in a way that they want now to attack, which is whereby we have been feeding them with much of the information for them to react, for them to talk about, oh, this is what is happening in Nyabuase, but they are not from Nyabuase. They are just from very different countries. Some of them are from different counties, but they want to talk about what is happening in Nyabuase. Why is it happening that way? Because they know the news feeds are coming from Nyabuase. The feeds, whenever you want to know, the reels and the feeds are coming from. Talk about in Instagram, we talk about the reels. In Facebook, we talk about the feeds, the news feeds. So this kind of the news feeds and also the reels are coming from Nyabuase. That's why they can earn their money. And people talk about, oh, because of this. So that's why they want to tarnish, because we came out and we were making money too. I cannot expose a thing which is so dangerous for me to have insecurity. We can just be put in prison at any time. You saw Mugesi was part of the program. It's only that I was not active at a point. They wanted to arrest all and make sure that we are put behind bars. So this is how I was a little bit. And people started talking about, no, Gintu is using Mugesi this way and this way and this way and this way. But the real fact, the person who is onto the ground can see who is Gintu. I'm never a person of talking about a Malika. No, I'm not a Malika person. I like doing my own things. Like today, guys, I want to make sure that this area, it's going to become a green zone this January. And whenever I talk about I have water for watering, it's a green zone gonna be coming. So I have the plan before I do it. What kind of the greens am I going to plant? Whom am I going to engage with to make sure that this kind of an area is going to occur? Whoever is listening to me, guys, we want to prepare the green zone again for the vulnerable. And from this kind, we're going to be trusting that I am from home as I can just check them here. So there's no one can just go to do such kind of the chaotic, and I can talk about throwing us into a pogromitic way or throwing us into an imbroglio in a way that they can just use a roundup to to clear out the green vegetables that we had developed. What if we could have just dropped it without knowing? We go and pluck and give to these people and they die. What could be coming the consequence? We could be behind the bars. So for me to cool down a little bit, that's why I say we cannot trust anyone. And much of the things that we want to do is that today you will see that you have helped them. But tomorrow they will come to tarnish you. That is the real effect of a human being. Because I can speak during the time of the Swamp King. I can remember we were used tiresomely. We were used vigorously. We were used maliciously. So as we can work, so as the swamp can be developed into a finished product. But whenever it reaches the time now, we are about to finish to the finished product. What did it occur? We were told that you kind of the people, you are ungrateful, you are rude, you are every kind of the names they were called. So as you can just be tarnished, and even people are just, oh, cheer, 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 cheer. These people are now out of this area. Now they have created room for us to act. It was a fact. Now people started talking about, no, I will not just be part of your team. No, whenever you go here, you are talking about, I can remember and I can give you much of the scenarios. I ever filmed videos and I talked about, hey, can you give yourself a shout out? No, I don't want to appear. And even I was told that get that camera out of me. I was told with a YouTuber that way. And I talked about one day, even me, I'll be in such kind of a position you are maybe. And maybe you'll look for my own attention. Maybe you'll come back. And I knew it. Look at what happened to the Nyabohansi podcast. It's the same. Those are even the people who tarnished me. They talked about, no, get that camera. Because of what? Just praising one human being. That Kenge should just see them that they are not acting with Gintu. They are just now very, how can we call it? They are praising this kind of a person. And it's not God. So it became that it was very hard for us to become the YouTubers we are right now. It was very hard for me to work for now I can work from home. It is one thing that I can just talk about. It's a development. It's the same to other reactors. They are working from their comfort zone. Talk about OT, I don't know, JT. They are sitting down and analyzing. Talk about Mkaro, she's sitting and analyzing. The only people who are working and bringing the content, it's Gintu, it's Mogesi, it's Ernesto, it's Mayani. We are bringing contents, yet they are sitting down and analyzing it. So that is the very different effect. We can just see it in a third eye. But whenever we just struggle looking for the content, for them even to come out posting and just using the same name that people are criticizing, that don't use that name, but they can use it while putting my name in, so as people can just look, what are they looking for? The views. Are we in agreement? Thank you. Now the effect came. Right now, since we came outside here to make sure that we are putting everything in a law, everything in a systematic way. People now started talking about, yeah, the three amigos, even the DDD came up. Talked about, yeah, I'm going to support you boys. I like the energy you're having, so as we can come out with clear evidence and make sure that we ever started even recruiting the people who will be giving us the reports, because we were not at the villa. Who could be giving us the report from the villa? We had to recruit much of the people and we were paying. So as we can come out with an evidence and post it. But the reactors who are sitting, who are now criticizing Gintu, talking about I'm a bad person, I'm just tackling this kind of the females, and talking about whenever I attack this kind of the other group and the females are in, I'm just looking bad. And they're just sitting and waiting for Gintu to post and repost. It's the fact. So this is how a messenger is. This is how now you can analyze and know. This is how the life goes. Because the person who's feeding you, you want again to tarnish the transformer. I don't know where you tap the electricity from. And this kind of an effect, it's coming. It's because of the human beings. It's because they know that now, now they have gained experience. Huh? They have gained using our names. They have gained using this and this and this. Now they can come out to tarnish it. The same way I can just reveal this way. There's a time that we came out here to make sure that me and Mungesh are going to be putting everything one-on-one. And from that kind of a position, I can tell you. Now the reactors from Nyabohansi who were reacting before we came out to Nyabohansi so as we can become the biggest reactors. They are now talking about, oh, this kind of the people, this way and this way. Even a person coming and talking about, hey, you are this and this and this and this. And this is just a small boy from here who cannot even have any information about anything and put anything, because he's also depending on Gintu, and which Gintu can just go and analyze, then they come in. Because whoever made the work of, because people are asking about Gintu, where is the tutor for Obasa? How did it went? It's now January. What happened? What am I going to analyze? A person asks, Gintu, you talked about you're going to be having the greens for the vulnerables. Where are they? I talk about what am I going to stock, because the same people made what they made with the roundup at my fish ponds there, and things are rampant. There's nothing is now working. And the scenario of, I saw a comment that I want now to talk about. This comment was asking about what made you, the three amigos, to have the DDD. Guys, it is called consistency. I can tell you this because even Kenge told me one day, and this is the same thing I got. Consistency and making sure that there's no intimidation. People like people who don't fear. People like how we are just energetic and bringing the vibe out. Not that, guys, you know, we have to do this. Even it will be so narcotic. As people going to be talking about, oh, what are you talking about? Why can't you be firm of yourself? Why can't you come out loud? Why can't you talk about, oh, you are a man? What are you fearing? You're speaking like a lady, so you want to be seduced, or you want to be done what? Are you horny? So it will become so narcotic as we're going to be talking like ladies here. And people want enjoyment. There are people who are dull. There are people who don't work. They're just working from home. They want entertainment. There are people who are want informative videos. There are people, because I was ever mixing it and making sure that people can get. And whenever we are just moving, we are developing and moving. The DDD, Mr. Stephon, saw this kind of the boys, the three amigos specifically. And they talked about, boys, I like whatever you are doing, and I'm going to send you much of and I was the one who talked to him, and he spoke very much. And he's the person who are just, we can call them silent subscribers, who cannot talk, but they are watching. Because as I can just speak, even Kenge is watching my content, but he cannot comment. Talk about the Trench Town boy, watches my content, cannot comment. Talk about Argentina Longnose, watch my content, cannot comment. Why? They are silent subscribers who can watch, but they cannot comment, but they are there. Whatever you post, they are there. Not that everyone who is watching you has to comment. So which kind of a person commented and talked about, didn't you have to tell us the real viral about it? I know that you know much of the things about the DDD and much of the village cook here and there. It doesn't buffer me anything, because it offers me nothing to maybe put it out, because it has a zero affidavit. For that, I was not the one dated. I was not the one dating this kind of a lady called a village cook. So I cannot know the internal structure of them. Even if maybe the village cook decides to talk about, I want to tell you about this kind of the person, or another person talk about, okay, this is the receipt, I can come out. Why am I coming out with the evidence that I know, not that something I don't know? This is the difference between me and the other things that they're going to be doing outside here. So now the fact about the DDD is we are having, even I've just talked about, there's a guy who is a very small boy YouTuber here now, mingling with an immediate interventions here, and thinking about is the Reactor, who is just the portfolio is not even working. He's coming out, talk about, oh, Gintu is always wearing this kind of the talk about the vests. Guys, even M. Carol came with the vests, and people cannot, they don't know that one. They think even M. Carol bought like 4 vests, and she came with the vests because I like the vests. My content is of vests, and I really appreciate for everyone who knows this is Gintu. I can even appreciate, and I can just differentiate. This is Gintu, this is another person. Even if I go somewhere, I have a hat or I have a cape, because people have already, because at home here, it's not a must, I have a cape, because this is how I am. I have the black hair. Everything is so fantastic, and it's very long. Very, very long. And people think about, I am always with a cape, so as I can differentiate myself with other people and make sure that I'm a cape person. Exactly. So as we can just gauge it and get it. But the real portfolio, what has befallen about the three amigos. The three amigos has been killed because of some of the subscribers who wish that this kind of the people or Gintu is wasting this time of this other person, because maybe you can talk about it is the mood. Maybe you can talk about it's the facial expression. Maybe you can talk about it's how you are, the moodic way you are. Maybe this kind of a YouTuber is a brown guy. Maybe I'm a black person. Maybe Mayani is totally dark. Maybe this kind of the person is this way. So they start mimicking, and they're starting talking about, oh, this is a handsome, Gintu, live. I saw that kind of a comment. It was so annoying. A person is coming and talking about, this kind of a person, you are a very handsome guy, live, Gintu is ugly, and act with his own dogs there. So it was so pathetic for such kind of a person to talk such kind of the things and to come out vividly, because we are helping each other. How am I going to get that urge of going to film a video again with such kind of a person? So it's not that the three amigos, it's not occurring to be there, because the friendship is there. We are always together, because even this kind of the festive season, we have seen it, me and Mogesi at the hotels there. We were filming, we were going for swimming, and the hotel was opening, the Joffa hotel, that I have some fish farming there. So we are going there to cherish and make sure that we are swimming, doing this, doing that, doing everything. So it was so relaxing, and we are always together. And that's why I'm ever with Mayani, making sure that Mayani, I have to orient him a little bit. Make sure that Mayani, I put him in a focus. Mayani is like a baby sometimes. So you have to act, you have to show him that this is wrong, this is right. Because I'm aged than them, and I have worked in several institutions. I've just put my ass outside here, working, not a joke. And I've ever worked making sure that I wake up very early in the morning, do this and this and this. Even right now, there are people who are asking, Gintu, do you come to rest a day? Guys, I can tell you, Gintu is not resting. If I rest in the heaven. That's the fact. And whenever I come out to clarify much of the things that are going to be coming out, people are talking about, oh, Gintu is a bad person, Gintu is this. Guys, if you're coming to such kind of an end, support Gintu so as we can just group together as a team, and I will never follow you. I'll never follow you, guys. This is the fact, because I trust myself, and I appreciate myself, and I love and I honor the whole audience that is always watching, and make sure that they are reaching to this kind of the segment. From Jamaican Baby, Jamaican Dolly, Chemical House, everyone. MC, something like that one's there. Everyone, not and a dollar, very many people. I cannot talk about everyone. I really respect your own dignity, and I salute for your own hospitality and charity that you always give out. And this is a honor that I'm always giving to my subscribers who are always watching, and they're always commenting, talk about Gintu, let's go, Chemical House. Let's go. That's very fantastic. And we really appreciate and I honor the dignity. And I say that we have to move forward, because Gintu, I can turn Nyambohase into another scenario. I can decide that I want to do something that will trend, and it will trend. Whenever I decide that this kind of the thing can go forward, I can go forward. So as I want to get the attention of Kenge and bring him back, so as he can come and look for us, and we make Nyambohase great again. Because if people cannot understand that Kenge is the one who has ever separated our own philanthropic. People are talking about Gintu. Do you know that our mission is Kenge must go? Not a fact that this is how it's going, but the fact is one, that Kenge is the one who has a mess. But all the messes he has ever performed, we can just retaliate and talk about Kenge. Whenever he comes, he has to be solidifying. He has to be part of the solidity, so as we can put our own thoughts together and make sure that we are bringing Nyambohase back. Because right now, there are YouTube channels that ever grew. There are YouTube channels that ever existed. But right now, my people, I'm telling you, you can ever go and check a channel and just wonder what's happening. I ever brought you the channels. Talk about all the people who have been alpha. Talk about Mokia. Talk about Strongman. Talk about Steve J1. Talk about One Drop. Talk about McKenna J. Talk about who is this girl? Who is this guy? There are so many whom have been turned. Talk about Pablo K.E. Guys, I can just tell you, go check Pablo K.E. right now, guys. Let's support this kind of the people, because it's so nasty that this kind of a boy like, a guy like Pablo K.E. lost the sister, lost the money with Kenge, stole them money so as he can have a flight to Argentina, and again to be tarnished, to be turned so as the head can just look down. And now he's told, walk with the hands while the legs are up. And this is the fact, because whenever we talk about these are the scenarios that we can buffer with and talk about we can defeat it this way. It's either we come together, and no one likes it, because whenever they dig into the knowledge, it's one-on-one. But they don't know that even I'm a human being. I can sit down with a person. I sit down with, talk about Nasto. I sit down with the YouTubers from Nyabuansi. It's only a camera that's by faulting much of the things not to come out clearly. And for the fact to say the fact is the fact. No one wants to see a person who was told with Kenge, leave, you are fired. Even they just look at you like a dog, like a plate that doesn't have ugali. It's finished. That's how they see. Whenever you come out to say that I'm a person who can understand, they talk about we don't want betrayals. How can you betray a person that you have worked for and you are ever testing food for him so as he cannot be poisoned, and you are being talked about? And guys, whenever I come out to tell people this is the fact, because I've seen it. People are talking about, oh, Gintu, you should not talk about this kind of the lady, you should not talk about this kind of the person, but talk about the demon, talk about the Argentinian long nose, talk about the other ladies, talk about the sausage girl, talk about the underwear lady, talk about all the bokeh fraternity, but not talk about this kind of a lady. So we are a little bit buffering such kind of the experience whenever I try to balance, so it's like I'm being measured. You should make sure that this kind of the theme should be just be buffered, but this one should be. But everyone is looking. Everyone is trying her own best, his own best to make sure that we are moving together. So guys, keep it tuned, keep it locked. Much of the things will be coming to you. Holy Happy New Year to everyone who's just watching to this kind of then end, and making sure that you can just get much of the points coming out from this kind of the fraternity. It's one-on-one live, and it's underscore Gintu back again. Support Gintu, we move forward. Your hospitality is guaranteed in this channel.